EsDeath is one of those survival of the fittest type characters. She's an ice user type character. In Akame got killed, there's these special weapons in the universe called Imperial Arms. They can be wielded by other beings to give them great power or increase their power depending on how it is. The thing that makes EsDeath so powerful is that you can't really disarm her of her Imperial Arm weapon. She's kind of fused with it, making her a permanent ice being. And she takes her abilities with ice on a whole nother level when it comes to freezing stuff, even freezing space and time itself, when I get into that later on in this same video. Yeah, she literally drank the demon abstract, which is why she got her power of ice. It was supposed to make her go insane. Technically, anybody that was supposed to drink it was supposed to mess them up in the head, but she powered through it thanks to her willpower and stuff, because she's a main character, right? Only makes sense. Even though she has ice power, she seems to have impressive physicals because she's a survival of the fittest type of character. The strong survive, the weak will perish. She's one of those type of people. As a kid out here, she had to survive on her own, having to get crap done, surviving in the wilderness, killing creatures or beasts. Seems to have experience using melee weapons like swords. Eat or be eaten. The danger beasts are around everywhere. Yeah, it's themes like this you don't notice. When she was real young, able to carry a giant bird on her shoulder, she was a natural born hunter since childhood. Knowledge on pressure points with a chop. Karate chop. Not afraid to have you on a chain as a pet, or just kick your face off, technically, with her striking power. When it comes to military force, she's at the top of the food chain and other beings are just under her. She's the strongest of the force. She has battle IQ to where she can read your movements and know what you're about to do next just from how you're fighting. Due to being a professional torturer, she knows all the vital spots of the human body. Her reputation precedes her. They talk about how in order to even stand a chance or even win against her, they would need 1,000,000 men to even pull up on her. Her physical training probably happened off screen, but what the heck did she do to get her physicals this impressive? Because even her raw speed when it comes to speed blitzing is actually impressive with melee weapons. Blitzing through all these danger beasts, for example. Her physicals are so impressive to where she can kick you and make a crater in the ground. Her reflexes seem to be impressive. Being able to react to beings that can move like a blur or disappear from eyesight. Even beings that are augmented and have crazy reflexes she appears invisible to. Thought they had the drop on her? Nope. Reacting and parrying attacks, testing their abilities while not fighting back, showing her fighting speed in general, 2v1 style. Surprise attacks, you can't really catch her off guard with that type of stuff. While fighting, Akame dodges freaking lightning itself. So if you try to come at her at faster than 200,000 miles per hour, that's not a guarantee you win either. And here with the main character, I'm just going to let this speak for itself, battling the main character in a very high difficulty panel for panel when it comes to speed and etc. The main character being able to fight faster than the eye can see. Despite all this, she's able to compete regardless of all of this. Even though she got a major crush on Tatsumi, they continuously fighting all the time and she's impressed. Her ice abilities are very flashy. She has 3 primary abilities when it comes to her ice. That's like her top tier abilities called trump cards, primary, secondary trump card, and then the Ice Storm Commander in Chief. She literally has a trump card that she freezes time and space, taking the word freeze literally. It's one of those abilities she can't spam, she can only use it once per day. She'd be broken if she could just spam something like this. She has her own very own army of ice soldiers, ice cavalry one could say. Apparently have their own minds where they can control themselves. These armies alone can threaten main character level beings in numbers. Even their lives are in danger from such a formidable attack. So they're not just like little basic fodder minions, they're actually a challenge. One of her most destructive abilities when she goes all out, called the Ice Storm Commander in Chief, she simply was creating the ice cavalry one by one for the past few days, which means she's been storing up the last few days worth of power in them, and it's all coming down on you now. It's such a devastating technique to a wide radius that she uses it when she doesn't have any allies here anymore. The power she distributed to her ice cavalry, it's all returning back to EsDeath. Who do you know that can create a storm on a country-wide scale? EsDeath is so destructive with her blast power to where not even a whole country is safe. Scary, ain't it? A massive portion of this country is now covered in ice and snow. It's like a way of testing out who's strong enough to survive all these BS, and it'll weed out the weak and let the strong survive. Not to mention, since there's constant snow and stuff coming out of this air, with her own ability, she's kind of helping herself stay hydrated, one could say, in a way, when it comes to her ice abilities always being in flux. Like seriously, being an ice user that has constant snow coming from the sky, of course it's going to amp yourself up. Look how she froze this river, it all makes sense to her blast. And here we got this giant beast with her ice abilities. Not only having an ice tower, but can control it like a spear. How much ice she can produce. She can just generate a whole bunch of ice out of absolutely nowhere. That's like the size of a freaking mountain. and crush this big beast with a mountain-sized ice ball that fast. Her legs can take impacts from large falls. Look at the big landing her legs can withstand. Even when beings use sound-based trump cards against her, she has the ability to withstand such attacks. It's a sound-based attack that pulverizes bones, but EsDeath can withstand stuff like this. And beings that can almost vaporize humans she can withstand. Her constructs can be created with the snap of a finger fast. Literally just thinking of it and it's made riding an ice horse. Like here she thought of it and it's created. She can make a volley of floating icicles to attack you. How are you supposed to guard against something like this? Or ice pillars that you think she doesn't have control over, she still does. Like I would hate to fight her in Alaska. Complete control over the size where they can pierce humans too. She can make her little baby version of ice meteors, beings that are bigger than the forest. She can crush. And she doesn't have to make him super ginormous. She can just make him like this. Then she has abilities where she can pretty much freeze you pretty much instantly. Whether it be skin contact or without skin contact, she can just think about it and you freeze. Large rivers, she can pretty much freeze on the spot. Even danger beasts that are the size of way bigger than buildings, even if they blitz at her, she can freeze all of this BS. She doesn't always have to do this, but yes, she can create ice armor around her certain body parts, creating technically her own ice battle suit. If we're keeping it all the way 1000. Ice shields can fly to a certain extent with the ice by simply wrapping the ice around the parts of her body and making those pieces float. Imagine fighting her as she summons an ice tree and you're going to think, what's a tree going to do? And then it starts shooting out in every direction of ice. Of course, she can make her own melee weapons with ice swords. We're not going to talk about the ice blender she made. Like it's literally a drill. Like on some vroom, vroom. If she loses her arm, she can create a fully functional replacement arm made out of ice walls to contain you so y'all both have to fight no matter what. It's a common thing ice type characters do. They will freeze your body and your body becomes kind of very breakable, mostly because of how the ice affects your molecules. When it's something that's frozen solid, she can shatter you easily when she freezes certain parts of you. She's even shattered durable swords, can even shatter herself at that if she feels like it when it comes to how her ice works. Mixed in with her physicals, mixed in with her ice, her melee abilities, and her fighting speed, all that stuff added together, it makes her a formidable foe. Even her smallest constructs can mess up cannonballs. That's a lot of raw ice power. Her ice is strong enough to freeze the top tiers of the universe in place and block such attacks from top tiers. So it's some very durable ice, probably because of super extremely low temperatures of the ice she can make as well. But for the most part, that's just about going to do it. EsDeath. I know it's hard to believe she can create massive ice explosions on this scale, but respect her. But what do you guys think? Do you respect EsDeath? I hope you do. Respect her ice ability. One could argue infinite speed with her trump card because being able to freeze time and space itself and be able to attack you while everything's literally frozen in time. She's the only thing that can move like that. But before I get going, thanks for the donation, guys. It really helps out. Respect her. I'm glad you are enjoying your time on the channel. Make sure you check out the playlist on the channel to see other How Strong videos. If you like what this channel is offering, make sure you hit that subscribe button and I will see you guys later.